Today we're going to be going over how to integrate OpenAI's API into your own application so you can chat with some of their models like GPT 3.5 Turbo, GPT4, TextDaVinci, whatever you have access to. So let's jump into it. We're going to be following along with the Node.js library here that OpenAI has on their website. If you just go to the documentation tab, you should be able to find it. If you give that a quick read, it should help you get a better understanding of what we're going to do today. So let's demo this really quick just so you can see how it's going to work. We'll ask it a simple question. What is the quadratic formula? That should still get it right. Perfect, it does. Let's see, what should I do when I get sick? Awesome, so it is getting correct responses. So let's look and see how we set this up. We have a Next.js application over here, basically from scratch. We've just built two files out, and one is going to be our UI that you see over here, and one is going to handle our API requests over here in our question folder. So we'll start from scratch here. If you haven't done so already, we're going to be installing OpenAI and Axios. So go ahead and install that with whatever package manager you're using. I'm using Yarn, so we'll just go ahead and redo that. OpenAI, Axios. And so we have those installed. Now we can go ahead and get started. At the very top, we're going to import two packages. So OpenAI API from OpenAI and configuration. And we'll be using both those later. Let's define our function. It's going to be async. And it's going to take in our request and response, of course. And now the first thing we're going to do is get our variable, which is going to be that question. This is what's going to act as our prompt, and we'll pass into the model later. But we'll get it from the request body. And then we'll throw a quick conditional just to handle an error if there's no question. So if there's no question, let's return res.status 400. And then we'll throw out the error. Let's call it question is required. So letting the user know what's happening if they should get any kind of error. Now we're going to set up our configuration, which we installed at the top. This is just going to handle how the environment variable storing our API keys is configured. So configuration, and this is going to be equal to new configuration. Should be lowercase this. New configuration, and we'll pass it our API key. .env.openai __ key. Awesome. Now that we have that, let's define OpenAI, and we'll pass in our configuration into the OpenAI API. Configuration like so. And now we can go ahead and use OpenAI. We're going to throw it in a try catch, and then we'll define our result right here. So we'll await for OpenAI.create completion right here. And we'll pass it a model. We're going to be using TextDaVinci for this, but of course you can use whatever model you have access to. DaVinci, if I can spell it right. 003. Now it's going to take our prompt, which is the question that we're passing, and we'll throw it a max token as well, just so we don't get any errors, like so. Now that we have that, we can return our result, res.json, and get whatever our answer is going to be. So we'll get that from the result.data.choices, and we'll get the 0th index .text. Awesome. Now with that, we'll catch any errors. So catch error, And let's do console, and let's skip the console. Let's just go right into the return a res.status 500.json. Throw in an error like so, and then we'll actually give it a little better error than that. Error fetching answer. Awesome. And that's our API endpoint complete. Not a lot of code, pretty easy to set up, and they got good documentation to get you up to speed. Now let's get into our front end. I'm going to leave the return just because I don't want to rewrite CSS, but I'll let you look at the code here a little bit if you just want to copy that. Or better yet, I can push it up to a GitHub repo, so let me know if I need to do that. But we'll rewrite this from scratch. We're going to have our 3 state variables, and those are going to be the question, answer, and we'll throw a loading as well, just to help the user experience out. Question, set question, use state as a string, and we'll have our answer. So answer, set answer. Use state, and this will also be a string. And then we'll have our loading. Set loading. And we'll initialize to false. And now we can get into our functions. So let's do a handle question change function here. Event any. And then we'll set whatever the user inputs as our question. So we'll get the value there. Event.target.value. And now we can do our big function that's going to pass in the question to our API endpoint. So ask question. It's going to be async. Like so. And then first thing we'll do is set loading to true. Just so the user isn't freaking out if there's no immediate response. And we'll set up our try catch, where we can define our response. We are using Axios again, so make sure you do have that installed and imported. So wait, Axios post. And our endpoint is going to be at API/question, or whatever you named this file right over here. We named it question. And then right after that, we'll pass in our question. Perfect. And then should it get a good response, we'll set the answer. Set answer to the response data answer. Perfect. Then we'll catch any errors. Console.error, error. Then we'll set answer just to an error has occurred. That's not really necessary, but helps the user out a little bit. Once we have that, we can finally set our loading to false. So set loading. And boom, we are completely done integrating OpenAI's models into our own application in our local host. So you can go ahead and build super robust AI software applications for yourself, clients, however you want to use it. And I'll go ahead and demo you this real quick just so we can see if it's working. Hello? And we get an error. Awesome. So let's use this as a quick debugging class. Perfect. This one's pretty easy. 2 configurations. You cannot define those multiple times. So we'll go ahead back to our API file, remove our question, head back to our UI right here, and we'll try it again. Hello? Another error has occurred. So since it says, whoop, we lost the page. Hello. An error has occurred. We know that it came from our answer. It's not getting the correct answer. So we can go back to our API file and we can see this should be tokens and this should be spelled correctly. That would probably help big time. Okay, now that that's fixed, let's see if we can get this thing to respond to us. Perfect. Okay, what should I do when I'm sick? Awesome. So yeah, with that, guys, really the possibilities are endless when you're able to integrate OpenAI. Now, this was just a beginner's tutorial. If you want to see some more advanced stuff, maybe expand upon this video, let me know in the comments below and we'll try to get to that video next up. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.